Oh, he just had cramps. Yeah, you know, he gives his best, and you know, he just cramped up. I tried to get him out a couple times there, but we just can't score when he's not out there. And so, you know, he cramped up. He's fine.
What do you know about Damari?
He'll have an MRI tomorrow. That's all I really know. Doesn't look good, but you never know until you do those kind of things. You give him a night, sleep on it, but you know, it's, hopefully it'll work out okay for him after, you know, having last year tearing his Achilles. You know, you'd hate to see something, you know, happen to him like that.
Kind of along the same lines, I asked Andrew, how did you see that affect your team?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, you know, it's their teammate. You know, they care about him, and you know, he's a popular dude on the team, but you still got to come out and play, man. You know, and I thought it was really important how we started the second half, and you know, I think Ty came out immediately, scored, and then they come down, they might have scored, and we turn it over. You know, and it doesn't need to be turned over. They're trying to do things you can't do. You know, we're a really good team when we share the ball, and we play under control, and we don't get sped up. And that was the thing about early in the game. You know, it was elevated. You know, there's a great crowd. They're elevated, and I thought we played really at a great pace on offense to start the game. You know, obviously we made shots, but we also did it at our pace. They weren't speeding us up. And then it got frantic there, and when they speed us up, we turned it over, and so that leads to those atomic bombs, and we had 4 of those in the first half. And then defensive transition, get your ass back. You know, if you're not going to offensive rebound, we got 4, we had 2 in the first half, then get back. I'm not happy about that. And it's a combination of several people.
Coach, what were the differences in the game plan today defending DJ Burns?
Well, I think the first thing was trying to make him, you know, make it a lot harder for him to catch it, which, I mean, I don't think I've played against too many post players that post up at way outside the 3-point line. You know, I mean, I've been coaching a long time. I played against some lottery bigs. I've never seen that. And so that was the first thing. And then be physical. We didn't go to the monster or the double team to start the game, but obviously he had his way there early. So we went to it, and I thought it slowed him down a little bit. But then again, you know, it takes our bigs have to keep him from going baseline. That's their only responsibility in that. And a couple times they didn't do it. Now, you know, he made a couple tough shots too. You know, he threw in a couple sky hooks there. It was like, okay, you know, or Bill Russell, I guess you'd say, one of them type of deals. But he's a good player. You know, he's a really good player. He's got great touch. I think he's the best scoring big in the league, and he enjoys passing. You know, and that's the problem, right? If you go down there and do it, you know, leave somebody open. Now, I'd have to go back and look. I think they made a couple, but I thought we did a much better job on him this game than we did last.
You mentioned Jarkel Joyner on offense, obviously, but you also mentioned his defense. It seems maybe he doesn't get the credit that he deserves because he scores so much as not only an on-the-ball defender, but like a 60, 70-foot defender.
I noticed that more than anything, Luke, than the buckets, is his intensity defensively and his stance and his base and the way he moves his feet. And they let us play. It's not to our advantage. You know, we didn't get to the line 10 times. Ty goes sometimes 10 times himself. So, but you got to adjust to it. And I think he's really good at that. Casey's really good at that. They got base. And they're strong, you know. And this is one of the advantages of, again, recruiting portal players from good programs, from good coaches. Kermit Davis could coach basketball, and Tony Bennett could coach basketball. So they had a good bait, more than any high school player is going to have coming in here, or my program. And so they're high major transfers to a high major program that can play. Credit to Kevin, coach, for getting those 2 guys. And then DJ, you know, it's kind of like Jake was for us, you know. But DJ started at a high major program too, Tennessee. So I think I love Joyner's mentality, his toughness. He's an all-league guard, and he might be one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
Steve, you're on pace for another 20-win season. another winning season in ACC play, but it doesn't look like you're going to get a quad one this year.
Why not? I mean, Duke didn't count. They lose because we got a quad one for Duke. Did we have a quad one for Duke today? And we get one. If we get one for Wisconsin, I mean, I got a couple quad one wins, like because the quad one is so stupid that we're sitting here, Duke at 32 or something, and Wisconsin at 78. We'll go win at Wisconsin. Good luck. All right, you're right. I mean, we haven't won the right games to get in the tournament. If that's what you're asking me, and I don't disagree with that one iota. But I'll say this again, and I said it to my man Joe back there yesterday. I don't believe in a metric where you win and you go down 6 and the team that you beat goes up more than you do. How is that possible? And I'm not saying that we deserve to be in the tournament. I'm not, because we don't. But that's a bad metric. And my livelihood depends on it, and so does Kevin's. And we can't even explain it.
Yeah, so what's the solution to that?
I don't get paid for that. I get paid to coach to win by 1, not the spread.
Hey, Steve, I wanted to go back to DJ real quick. I was just curious, how were you deciding on whether, to send a double team down or to leave them in single coverage?
Flipping the coin, heads, where to go? No. It's like, I don't know, it's like you got to mix up your coverages, right? Kind of football, baseball, mix up your pitches. I'll be honest, the whole second half we went when he was in the game. Obviously, we didn't do it when he wasn't. We didn't start out that way. We tried to make him guess a little bit. But then the whole second half, it was, we're going. And, he made some plays and some he didn't.
Coach, what's your assessment? A lot this week, from the media standpoint, has been a lot of media tabloids bashing the power conference of the ACC, just saying ACC's weak this year. What's your opinion on just hearing the outside noise and just, if you were able to speak to us, how do you feel the power of the conference at ACC?
I mean, I don't listen to that, but I've been asked that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing as last year. I mean, again, sometimes it's perception. Like, people aren't used to seeing Pitt, NC State. I shouldn't say that. NC State's won 2 national championships, for God's sakes. But Pitt, who else is up here, fellas, in the league? Miami, Clemson, Wade, whatever. I think that explains a lot to you right there. It's not the 2 down the road. So that's that's how our identity, in my opinion, is created, and rightfully so. Those are 2 great programs, right? I think that's some of it. Some of it is maybe we didn't win enough games in November again. I don't know. You guys can tell me that. I felt like we did the best we could do. Again, how can you make that judgment until we get in the tournament? Again, last year we had 3 teams in the Elite 8 and 2 in the Final Four, 1 played for the national championship. So I don't know if you can really make that judgment. It's just somebody's got to talk about something, okay? So that's what it is. Maybe we need to do a better job of talking about our league as coaches. I think we should all be supporting each other. I'm so happy for Kevin. Man, he turned the state. He came in here and won last year, and we got him in our place, but he came in and swept us. And I know he was feeling some heat. He's doing a hell of a job. Just like John Shire is doing a hell of a job following a legend. It'd be like following John Wooden. Would you want to do that? Gene Bartow lasted 2 years doing that. And then he went to UAB and started a program, okay? And then he lost 2 games too. I don't know, man. I just think we got a great product. We've had some Hall of Fame coaches retire. Two guys on Mount Rushmore. There's going to be a little bit of that, but it can't be me, and it can't be Mike Youngson. It's got to be some of these other guys that, have accomplished a lot in this league. I'm just trying to get our program back to being competitive and respectful. And I think we're getting there, but we're not where I want to be. And so I'm disappointed, in this game tonight because, again, like Josh said, we had 2 opportunities at Miami here tonight to win a quad 1 game. We didn't do it. We don't get quad 1 games at home. We're not the Big 12. Every game in the Big 12 is a quad 1. Don't ask me how, but it is. So we don't get that. So we got to go on the road. Last year we beat North Carolina at home by 22 points. They went to the national championship. That was a quad 2 win. Okay.
Coach, in kind of relation to that point you made just now, and what I asked Andrew about earlier, with those two, the past two quad one games, really good offense from your team getting around 90 points, but it was the turnovers that kind of proved to be the
Yeah, I mean, turnovers, we don't defend. I mean, we're not a great defensive team. I don't think that's any secret. And that's why we're not an NCAA tournament team right now. Because to win in the NCAA tournament and go to the tournament, you got to do both. You got to score and you got to defend. And we're as good offensive team as there is in the league. Ain't no doubt about that. But you got to do other things. You can't turn it over, especially if you're not great defensively. You better not turn it over. And we hadn't been doing that. Last time we played these guys, I think we had 5, right? But, now we're turning it over. It's not a good time to be doing that. And we got to be tougher defensively. It wasn't just DJ Bird. Some guys are driving our guards to the basket. Come on now. Guard the ball. 101, basketball.
Steve, you talked earlier this week about the importance of being honest with your team about the road ahead and what they need to do. How do you kind of keep them together down the stretch around the 3 games? And now it looks like you need to win the ACC tournament to really get.
Because I'm going to be the same coach tomorrow that I was yesterday and on June 14th. And they know I'm not playing. I'm coming with it. And so they're going to come with it, or they're going to be miserable, or they're going to move, or they're not going to play. I don't worry about that because Ty and Davian are great leaders of the team. They have good spirit, guys. If they didn't have good spirit, they would have got blown out of Miami. They got blown out here tonight. I know the score kind of got up there a little bit at the end, but we faced some adversity. We kept it there. I'm not worried about that. They know. I talked to them. We got to win these next couple at home. We got to go to Syracuse. Could have 21 wins. And we go play in the tournament, see what happens. You got to play for the best seed in the tournament you can get. I mean, that's the key right now. And I told them that right after the game. I mean, you got to be honest now. I mean, can't be painting a picture that ain't real.